everybody, and welcome to the first episode in this series brought to you by Mawi'Art. And in this episode, we're going to be talking about finding funding sources that exist here in this region that you can apply for so that you can do projects with your artwork, you can receive money to do amazing projects. We're going to dive into all of that, so stay tuned. Okay, so as you can see here, I have gone ahead and gone to artsnb.ca. I recommend that you check out this website from time to time to look for new grants or opportunities. They have things specifically for Indigenous artists, the Equinox program, which they have annually. Arts New Brunswick is a great place to go and check out for grants. And so we're just here on the home page. So this is where you land when you type in artsnewbrunswick.ca. And you can see up here on the top, they have their About section. They have their About section, their Grants section, awards, initiatives, resources, news, and contacts. And then right here under grants, there's grant programs, eligibility, application toolkit, what happens if you receive a grant, the jurying process, the past recipients that have received grants, and annual deadlines. So as you can see, they kind of have everything there for you to kind of go through and learn about if you want to do some reading about specific grants. If you scroll down their page, on the right-hand side of the web page, it says upcoming deadlines. And this can kind of let you know what upcoming deadlines are there for certain scholarships or grants or things that you could possibly apply for. This one right here, creation, under April 1st. Their creation grant is a grant that you can apply for, I believe, up to $10,000 in total, where you basically write about a creation that you want to do or that you're trying to do, and you have an opportunity to get granted on that project. And there's tons of other ones here. The Equinox program for Indigenous artists, you can see here September 15th is the end date for that one. And you can apply for that here on the website. So, okay, so if you go back up to the top and you go into grants, you hit grant programs. And under grant programs, there's going to be a list of all of the different types of grants that Arts New Brunswick has to offer. And so what you want to do is go through these and see if there's any of them that you're eligible for. So the creation grant, for example, the Equinox program for Indigenous artists. So I was actually just picked for the Equinox program for Indigenous artists to create a book of photography. It's something I'm really, really excited for. And I can tell you that the application process for this particular grant and all of their grants are really not too bad. If you watch this entire video series and you go ahead and you take action on all of the videos, you'll actually be set up to apply for these grants a lot easier in the end, because we're going to be talking about things like artist bios, artist statements, what to include, what not to include, that type of thing. So make sure you watch this whole series and you'll be totally ready to apply for grants like this. So yeah, this is Arts New Brunswick, grant programs. You can look at eligibility, and this will basically tell you if you're eligible for the specific grants that you're going for. There's an application toolkit, which basically just tells you what to apply. It tells you how to apply, what they're looking for, the things that you're going to need in order to apply. If you receive a grant, basically just some feedback and some information about receiving a grant. And then there's the jury process, past recipients, and annual deadlines. So if you're interested in signing up through Arts New Brunswick's grant programs, go to their website, go to grants, and go and check out what you're eligible for. Go see if there's any grants that you can apply for. There's one right now until September 15th, and that would be 2021. So if it's before that date and you come up with an idea and you're an Indigenous artist, you can apply for their Equinox program, and I urge you to do so because it's an excellent, excellent program. Okay, so moving on from the Arts New Brunswick webpage, we are now on the Canada Council for the Arts website. So what you're going to want to do to get here is just go to Google or whatever browser that you use and type in canadacouncil.ca, and it will bring you to this page here. So on the front page, there's a few things to note. On the bottom here, it says register on the portal and create your own account. So this is something that you will have to do in order to apply for grants or any type of program through the CCA. But this is going to be its very own video in the future within this series. So I recommend going to that video, creating your account, following the steps, and then coming back and really looking through all of the grants on the website so that you can actually apply for them. Beside register on the portal, there's a section here that says discover your options and explore our grant programs. So we're going to go ahead and click on that. and it's going to bring us to this grants page. It says in 2018 to 19, over 2,800 Canadian artists, almost 450 groups, and over 2,000 artists organizations received Canada Council grants. Their whole initiative is to kind of help out artists within the Canada region. So that would be you. Our grants. Canada Council grants are organized into 6 programs, and then the website goes on to describe the programs underneath. So there's the Explore and Create, Engage and Sustain, Creating, Knowing and Sharing the Arts and Cultures of First Nations, Inuit and Métis people. So this is something that you could look into as an Indigenous artist. Supporting artistic practice, arts across Canada, and arts abroad. So clicking on any one of these, you can learn about the components of that particular grant. So just for example, we're going to click on program components of the First Nations grant here. And then there's little subheadings here of travel, small-scale activities, short-term projects, long-term projects, and Indigenous organizations. So you would pick one of these depending on what you're doing. So say you have a long-term project idea, you would click on that, and it would give you information about how they fund long-term projects and what that means to them. And then when you scroll down, it will tell you what you can apply for and who can apply. So this is really important information if you're looking for a grant through CCA. I encourage you to come to this website, read through all this information, because this is one of those funding sources that could be really, really great for you. Okay, so the next website that we're going to take a look at is the Tourism, Heritage and Culture website run by the government of New Brunswick. And so what you're going to want to do to get to this website is go ahead onto Google and type in Tourism, Heritage and Culture grants. And then you're going to want to go to Tourism, Heritage and Culture, Government of New Brunswick. You click on that. And it's going to come to this page about services. So under services, there's going to be all sorts of different links to various grants, different types of programs that they offer, links to different organizations, that sort of thing. But you can find opportunities for grants here. So this is what I wanted to show you on this list. When you scroll down, you can see that there's all sorts of different grants here. So there's professional artists, artist in residency school program grant. Keep scrolling down. There's arts organization grants. For book publishers, there's operation grants. So you can spend some time on this page right here, just kind of looking through these grants, seeing if there's anything that's applicable to yourself. And if there is, then you can read about it by clicking on that link, and then you can continue to apply for it. So what's important that you notice about all 3 of these websites that we've looked at so far is that you can expect some sort of application process, which they're probably going to ask you for some information about yourself. You might have to provide an artist bio, an artist statement, an artist resume. Those are things we're going to be talking about later on in this video series. So I keep an eye out for those videos. They will be helping with this whole application. But for right now, what we're doing is just identifying areas in which you can receive grants. All right, so far we've looked at the Arts New Brunswick page. We've looked at the Canada Council for the Arts, and we've also looked at Tourism, Heritage and Culture run by the government of New Brunswick. The last website that I want to show you is the Rising Youth Community Service Grants website. So you're going to type in Rising Youth Community Service Grants or just Rising Youth, and you'll see a link here to risingyouth.ca. When you click on their website, they're going to be giving you kind of some information about who they are and what they do. But what you want to do is go down, and you can see that you can apply for some funding. So when you scroll down the page, you can see that there's a $250 amount, a $750 amount, and then a $1,500 amount for different types of projects. Now, these grants are a little bit different in that they have to give back to your community in some way. So in order to be applicable for any one of these grants, your project has to be about giving back to your community in some way or serving the community in some way. If you're able to achieve that with pitching your project, you will be eligible for these grants. And I can tell you that I received a grant from Rising Youth this year, also for a photography book, and they were excellent to work with. There was lots of support, easy to talk to them. And I recommend using this as a way to kind of get your name out there, to get used to using the budgets within your grant, because that's something you have to keep track of throughout the duration of your grant, is just, making sure you're using the money the way that you said you were going to use the money in the budget. So this kind of smaller amount of between $250 to $1,500 is a great way to start your introduction to using grant money, I think. So Rising Youth would be a great place to start for you. So risingyouth.ca, scroll down, check out which one you would like to apply for, and then go from there. I mean, there are all kinds of opportunities out there. These are kind of the 4 bigger ones that a lot of people are aware of, but ones that are really, really great for sources of funding. You got Arts New Brunswick, Canada Council for the Arts, Tourism, Heritage and Culture, Rising Youth. That's a really, really great start. What I would do if I were you is check out these websites, get an idea for the type of grant that you want to go after, and then go from there. Guys, thank you so much for watching this video today. If you have any questions whatsoever, please email me at communications@mawi'Art.org. I will happily sit down with you over a Zoom call or maybe a phone call and just go over some of the questions that you might have. The whole purpose of this is to get you guys ready for grants so you can get more opportunity as artists and advance your career as artists. Again, thank you for watching today, and that's it for this episode. I'll see you in the next one.